Good morning. This is Barbara, and I'm otherwise known this past few months as the East Coast Dragon Lady. So I know that I was asked a question the other day about how did I, or what exciting things happened to me this year, and my answer was meeting my dragons. So I thought I would do a quick video explaining what I remember of earlier this year. So it was in the middle of the summer, I'm going to say, because I was still outside walking, and I actually live in Massachusetts, but I live at one of the higher points in Massachusetts, and so I was at the top of a hill, and we get some very interesting cloud formations, and I had been drawn to looking in the sky, which during the summer often is blue. And when I looked that particular day, which I believe was mid-July, I just saw this beautiful, to me, there was lots of clouds, but within those clouds, I could see dragons, and I could see these dragons actually flying, huge wings, and as the clouds were low, it almost felt to me like their wings were almost brushing me. I think I saw at that time about 6. Thankfully, we all have our cell phones. I took pictures, which I will post with this video. And you can very clearly see, I believe you can see, the dragons. I was told after I saw them, I was fascinated. I was like, why would I be seeing dragons in the sky? So what I heard was these were my sky dragons. They had revealed themselves to me because they had come to work with me, and I had not an idea about dragons. In fact, if you'd have asked me at the beginning of this year, which is 2022 still, and somebody had told me that I was going to see dragons, and let alone channel dragons, I would have said, no, why would I be doing that? This year has moved very fast for me, as for a lot of people, and I now believe that there's a lot of us that are opening to these higher frequencies. So dragons are higher frequencies. They're still on that angelic realm frequency, but they're coming in more often and faster because their job is to help us move into the golden age, which is in about another 10 years, which will go by like that. So one of my other gifts that I realized this year was that I had been channeling ascended masters and also channeling one of my guides who had been Merlin. Merlin had been with me probably for a very long time, at least 30 years, I would say Merlin has been with me. But I'd always sort of said, oh, that's Merlin, especially when I walked in the woods. I hadn't realized that I was actually hearing him speak to me. And then, as I often say, life happened, and I stepped away from a lot of my spiritual gifts. I'm a Reiki practitioner, a polarity therapist. I do a lot of channeled healing. But I hadn't realized I was a channeler. I used to do a lot of what I called automatic writing, until it was suggested that I actually was not doing automatic writing, that I was channeling. And when I actually used the word, I am channeling, it changed in an instant. And I have since had many ascended masters, and all the messages are heart-centered, heartfelt, and they seem to come in waves. I will have people like Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, the Christ energy, and then the dragons came in. And as I looked back over the year, all of the things that had been shown to me were starting to make connections. And the dragons have told me that I will remember my past as the keeper of dragons. I can't say dragon keeper because Merlin will remind me that I was a keeper of dragons in my past lives. I've been told that will happen soon, that I will start remembering. But one of the things that I did after I had realized I had sky dragons, or I actually had dragons that were here to help with me. So I now know that I have 2 dragons behind me, 2 dragons in front of me, and 1 dragon either side of me. And dragons are really good at clearing away lower energies. So a lot of the time they are using their dragon's breath to clear the lower energies. And as that happens, it allows me to connect to much higher frequencies, along with obviously my daily rituals of grounding myself, making sure that I'm deep in Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia plays a huge role in all of this. I have been very connected with her for many years and have received very many messages. I decided that I wasn't quite ready to step out into the world. I do have a private Facebook page where I post daily right now. I pick a dragon card, and sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 5. They're getting a bit more chatty recently, so it's anything between 1 and 5 cards, which is a message for the group of people that have chosen to listen to that message that day. These dragons also are anywhere between the 4th and 12th dimension, and probably beyond that. But right now I'm working around about with the 5th to 12th dimension. There are lots of beautiful cards around. I actually have this book, which is, I seem to use this every day. I have these dragon cards. They're oracle cards by Diana Cooper, and they're beautiful cards. If you've got any interest in dragons, I would say look at these cards. They're not expensive. But I did just want to, before I ended, because I don't want to make this too long, I also know, when I first encountered my dragons, I didn't know about names. I was told that when I needed to know, they would tell me their names. So as of today, I now have 16 named dragons that have come and told me their names and their purpose, which I am planning to publish in some form sometime this year. So that's sort of in the future for me. I do feel that because it's the end of the year, things are speeding up, and the dragons are like literally working with us. Those of us that are light workers, and anybody that's listening to this, you're a light worker, and you may have encountered dragons, you may have not, but it seems to be that this is what I'm here to do right now, is to channel these dragons and to let more people know that they're there for us to tap into. So again, I would recommend the Dragon Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. And if you Google it, there's a lot of information, as we all know. But I did just want to share, she writes also beautiful cards, but also about the different frequencies of dragons. So the 4th dimensional dragons are wonderful, love and beautiful and love human beings and nature, and help with every aspect of the natural world. They are Lemurians, so they're passionately love. They come from a passionately and love planet. So that's the 4th dimensional, and they're the ones that tend to be the workers, is what I call them. They're there clearing that energy. None of my dragons are all peaceful dragons. They're not out there fighting. They all come with peace in their hearts. The 5th dimensional dragons are helping us to hold the 5th dimensional frequency and to prepare for the new golden age. The 7th dimensional dragons work with the luminous divas and the angelic beings who work with the blueprint of creation. And then we have the 9th dimensional dragons carry the codes of the cosmic energy that they represent. They work with 9th dimensional divas, who are all of the visionaries who manage the cosmos and ensure everything works together in harmony. So I think that's the answer to what was the most exciting thing of this year, was meeting my dragons, and also being able to get the message out that dragons are here, and they're here to work with you. They often work as a collective. When I channel, oftentimes it's a collective, and it's not always the dragons. Often the dragons will bring in that collective. Also, they're they are out in the galactic realms, so they often planet hop, and they're very fast. That's why sometimes we don't see them. And often you can catch a dragon out the corner of your eye. Sometimes it's moving fast. I don't always see, but I feel. And I often feel these dragons that I don't always know who they are, but I do know. So I want to leave you with this quote of somebody who actually works with dragons from the UK. And he says that nobody messes with you when you're working with dragons. So I'll leave you with that thought, and thank you for that question.